The contact database helps you organize prospects, clients, and all the individuals you come in contact with as you make your sales calls. So we have some basic information for you to input: first name, last name, company information, company name, and then we have group. So the group really is the category they can fall in. So it could be someone who is career and technical education. It could be a grad school. It could be adult learning. So what group do they fall in? So in this case, this individual is a guidance counselor. And then we have the category. So with the category, is this person an associate? Is this person a connector, an influencer? Like what type of role outside of their job title do they have? Two things I want to point out. One, when someone goes from a prospect to a client, when you click client, what will happen is the color will change from no field color to a green field color. And if it's someone that really you shouldn't call on because they aren't the right person, or that person for whatever reason won't be able to help out when it comes to advancing a sale, then you want to select dead end. I like to keep this information because in the future, if we do turn that prospect into a client, we can also always send that individual information. But these are two visual cues that'll quickly let you know whether or not you should pursue talking to that individual. Then we have next steps. So the next steps really is what are you supposed to do next? So are you supposed to set up an initial call, a follow-up call, an email? So what are you supposed to do as a follow-up? And then we have a category called priority. With priority, really you can enter one of two things. You can enter the number one or an X. So you notice that when you enter the number one, you'll see at the top this number changes from, it increases, it basically sums the sales. And what we use this number one for is when you start to make the calls, you can sort based on priority, and the individuals you need to call will, if you sort ascending, those individuals will be resorted and they'll all be at the top. So this way you don't have to search around to figure out who to call. X means this is an individual you've already called or contacted, and this is nice because essentially at the beginning of the week you want to put in all the ones and these are all the individuals you want to call. Then as you finish making the calls, you just put an X so you can see how many people you can keep track of your metrics, meaning how many people you've called that particular day. I like to do this, put X's in per day. That way I can start over the next day. So once a new day starts, I'll just delete the X's and start again. And this will help me keep hold of who I'm calling. Of course, we have phone number, and then here we have frequency, last contact, and next contact. So essentially, this is saying how often should you contact this person. If it's someone that I've called and I left a message for, what I'll do is I'll change the frequency from to 1 week, basically saying I need to call this person next week. Once I make contact with that individual, either set up a meeting or we've just had a meeting or we've converted that person to a client, then I'll put them on a normal call frequency. So maybe 2 or 3 months I want to reach out to that person. Then from there you put the day you've actually contacted that person. So this is where the formula comes in. So if I contacted this person on August 2nd and I want to contact this person once a month, then this next contact will be a formula. And basically this formula will say formula will look at the last contacted and then the frequency and do the calculation and tell you the next time you're supposed to contact this person. What I like to do is have detail or create very detailed comments, and this will give me an idea of what we talked about last, what the next steps are, in a little bit more detail than the drop down. Also any background information, so if this person has kids or hobbies, things like that, I like to put that there because it allows me to connect with that person. And then the connection is how do you know that person. So this might be something that my mentor forwarded to me. this might be a contact that my mentor forwarded to me. So this way I always can quickly find out how I know this person or how I'm connected to this person. Then we have some basic information. So where did they go to school for undergrad? Did they go to grad school? And if so, what the name of the grad school is. So let's say they went to DePaul for undergrad, and then they went to Maryland for grad school. Then you have their title, the address, so basic contact information, email information, and things like that. So this is the basic information you need to be aware of, but make sure you keep note of the client. Once you change it to a client or a dead end, it'll actually change the color, which will give you a visual prompt, and also the priority. So let's say we want to add a new contact. To do that, since there are a lot of formulas in this particular spreadsheet, what you want to do is go to the template, to a row that has the template in there, then just highlight it. You want to copy it and paste it on the next line. So from there, you want to put in the information. And basically, this is where you insert all of the information. So this person's a prospect. I need to set up an initial call. And I want to make sure I call this person. And I haven't called this person yet. So I haven't called this person yet. So you want to make sure when you copy it, you copy the entire row and paste it. And it'll paste all of the formulas in for you. So let's say I want to call this person. I've just called this person, left a message. Now it's going to tell me the very next time I should call. Or let's say he's out of office. So if I know he's out of office until 9/10, what I'll do is, instead of saying I'll call him in 1 week, I'll call him in 2 weeks. So this will prompt me to do that, and this will say tell me to set up a follow-up call. So now let's say you go through and you selected all these people to call, and you need to figure out, you're trying to set up your call week. So to do that, you want to click anywhere in the body of the spreadsheet, and under the home section you'll see sort and filter. You click on the sort and filter and then select custom filter. Now you'll notice that the entire spreadsheet is selected. We don't want the entire spreadsheet because we want to have data headers. So that first line, we want to make the header. You just click this button to say my data has headers, and then you want to sort it. First, I like to sort based on next contact. You want to sort on newest to oldest and hit sort. So now you can see, okay, here are the next group of individuals I need to contact. These individuals don't have anything in there, so it'll revert to January 2000. But that's fine, because those individuals that you plan on calling, you haven't called, you can put ones next to their names. So now, let's say I want to set up my entire call list for the week. What I do is click anywhere in the spreadsheet, click sort and filter under the home tab, custom filter. You can see that the data has headers checkbox is selected. Then you just want to change this to priority. Largest to smallest, it really doesn't matter because it's either a 1 or nothing. And now you have your entire spreadsheet in order, and you can start to make those calls. You can also do a custom sort where you say I want to add another level, and then say I want to organize this based on first by priority, then after priority, I want to sort it by next contact, oldest to newest. I'm sorry, you want to do it newest to oldest. So now you can really go in and see who you need to call, when, and where. So this is really a good way to organize all the data, and you can quickly find information. And as the database grows, you still can identify and find information and really reconnect with those conversations without committing it to memory. But you want to make sure you remember that if you want to if you want to add a new contact, just highlight the entire row and hit copy, then paste the entire row. If you want to change someone from a prospect to a client, you have to remember that it's going to change the color from no fill to green. If you want to make it a dead end, it's going to go from no fill to red, and make sure you understand the priority. So as I go through and make calls, let's say I make calls for Monday. I made all these calls, so I know that I've made 5 calls today. And if I'm going to, once I start preparing for Tuesday, what I'll do is I'll delete these, mark down how many calls I've made, and now I can continue to call. So I can keep a running tally of who I've called and when, and then also make sure I put the actual day that I've called in so I can be updated and ready to go.